For the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening again, Honorable City Council members, to our Mayor, Clerk, and Treasurer in their absence, our Chief of Staff, City Attorney, administrative staff in the audience, members of the public here in the council chambers, and those viewing via our broadcast channel and YouTube Live. Welcome to the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting. Today is Monday, September 25th, 2023. Members of the public wishing to participate in this meeting may do so under the public comment portion of the agenda. Please fill out a request to speak public comment card located on the table in the back of the chambers and hand it to me, the deputy clerk. At this time, we'll have roll call. Councilwoman Abdo. Here. Councilman Barden.
Here.
Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Webb.
Excused.
So noted. And Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Mr. Chair, there is a quorum for tonight's meeting.
Thank you.
Tonight's regular meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda, 2 minutes, 3 petitioner, 4 chairpersons report, 5 mayor's report, 6 clerk's report, 7 treasurer's report, 8 public comment, 9 unfinished business, 10 new business, 11 warrant, 12 communication, and number 13 is adjournment, and a motion will be in order to accept tonight's regular meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the regular meeting agenda as presented. Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Abdo, for approval of the agenda as presented. Ms. Talley,
Yes.
Ms. Abdo,
Yes.
Ms. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe,
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. Agenda item 2A for approval are the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, September 11, 2023 at 7:30 p.m.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr.
I'm
Wadsworth.
going to move that we approve the minutes of the regular council meeting that was held on the Monday, the 11th of September.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from the regular meeting held on Monday, September 11th at 7:30. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. Agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the special meeting study session held on Monday, September 11, 2023 at 6:45 p.m. to discuss the quarterly investment report.
Mr. Chairman,
Ms.
I'm
Wadsworth.
going to move that we approve the meetings from the special meeting that was held on Monday, the 11th of September, to discuss the quarterly investment report.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for approval of the minutes from our special meeting study session held on Monday, September 11th at 6:45 to discuss our quarterly investment report. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Talley.
Yes.
Ms. Abdo.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe.
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council. There are no petitioners under tonight's regular meeting agenda. Number 4 is the chairperson's report.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. At 6:15, we had a study session to discuss the Romulus retirees' health care. At this time, I'm going to ask our building director, Jeff Kemp, to update us on our planning committee update on the motorsports development project.
If I may, through the chair, Mr. Kemp will be coming up under the mayor's report this evening.
On the mayor's report? Okay. Let's see here. I'll make a note of that. If there's no other, that concludes the chairperson's report.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Talley, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved. Thank you.
Mr. Chair. Number 5 is the mayor's report, and to present the mayor's report is our Chief of Staff, Julie Waitoko.
Good evening, City Council, and thank you, Deputy Clerk. and to our audience here this evening. I have a few items to present for the mayor's report, but prior to getting that started, the first thing I'd like to do is I want to mention to you that the mayor is not here this evening. He is at the Western Wayne County Leadership Banquet this evening. Unfortunately, it was scheduled on a Monday evening, so he's there, so I'm filling in tonight. However, we do have a quick video to give you some upcoming events, and you might recognize the presenter.
Good evening, everybody. Mayor Robert McCray here to talk to you about some of the upcoming events going on in our community. On October 7th, I'm excited about the 5th installment in our One Romulus meetings. This time we're going to be switching it up a little bit, and we'll have it at the Romulus VFW Post 78 on Here River Drive. Please RSVP at the mayor's office at 734-942-7571 by October 2nd. The meeting is on October 7th, and we're going to be cooking breakfast for you. So I'll be on the grill cooking pancakes until about 10 o'clock. We'll start at 9 o'clock, and we'll go to about 11 o'clock. So 9 to 11, and I'll be cooking pancakes for you until about 10, and then I'm going to break away and start answering questions about things going on in our community. So bring your questions, bring your concerns. Let's have some open discussions. Our last meeting was a great success at the Pentecostal Baptist Church on Beverly Road, and I'm looking forward to continue to build these events to share ideas and hear from the residents firsthand what's going on, and you have a chance to get a free breakfast. So there's no charge for this event. Come on out and share your ideas. And also, we're trying to collect a list in the mayor's office to send out to our kids about all the fabulous organizations in our community that are doing trunk or treats. So if your organization, church, group, whoever it is doing a trunk or treat, please supply the details. Again, call the mayor's office at 734-942-7571, and we'll make sure we get that information out to all the residents who call so the kids can have a map and tell them where all the goodies are at. So I believe that's it for tonight, and so I'll be closing off and stealing Vanessa's line, so you have a good night.
And thank you, Mayor. And next up on the mayor's report, I would like to ask Mr. Kemp, our Building and Planning Director, to come up to council, before council, and give an update on the Motown development.
Good evening, council. I just wanted to come tonight and give an update on all the progress that's been made with Motown sports development in the last few weeks. So going back a couple weeks ago, Friday, September the 8th, the mayor had met with myself and Carol Mays, and Carol was not able to attend tonight. She had a previous meeting that she had to be at, but she will be available when needed in the future. But back on the 8th, the mayor met with myself and Carol to discuss communication with Motown and to discuss that they were wanting to go to Planning Commission for site plan approval and what was required with that. So after that meeting, I had reached out to Mr. Bardwell and Mr. Rennie of the Motown team and talked about setting up a meeting, gave them some dates, in which Monday, September 11th, they confirmed the dates to meet, which was, the meeting date was Tuesday the 19th. In between that, I had sent them a letter of communication on clear direction on what was needed and required for site plan approval and a concept site plan approval as well through Planning Commission that I had sent to them on the 14th of September. And then on the 19th, we met, our team from the city also met with the Motown team for about an hour and a half in a meeting that I thought was a very good meeting. We had clear lines of communication, answered questions. We talked about what was already submitted in the traffic study, the utility assessment plan, and the conceptual plan that they had submitted. We discussed those things, discussed requirements that were going to be needed in the future, and in the course of that meeting, we decided that we would set up a meeting later with their team and our engineers, OHM, to discuss the traffic plan that was submitted. We also encouraged them to concurrently talk to Eagle and talk to Wayne County about the development while they're meeting with us, and they had stated that they're setting up pre-application meetings with Eagle and with Wayne County as well, had already scheduled those. Roberto, the DPW director, provided a will serve letter for the utilities for the water main and the sanitary sewer that the city would be willing and able to provide those for that development. And just recently, Friday, I had received a timeline from Motown of some dates they were wanting to meet for approvals. I spoke with Mr. Bardwell today. I've been communicating with him today about the dates for submissions and to go in front of Planning Commission and to get a concept approval and to get site plan approval. We're adjusting what the dates are and kind of working backwards off of that for when the meetings are, for the timelines that they want to set, so we can help make sure we land dates and submittals to get to the progress that they'd like to see during that timeline. And we agreed to work together and keep constant communication. That way we can help them in this process, as this is a development that we're all excited about and we'd love to see.
Madam Chief of Staff, see, that's what I was talking about, communications. That's a good report, and I'm glad that you are, communicating, which is a good thing, and that's what we ask for, just to make sure this project is moving forward and you're communicating with each other. And that's the first step, so we want to just make it keep going, and good report, I appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yep, no, thank you. We'll definitely keep that going.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Kemp. And then moving forward, obviously, any communication that we're sharing will be going to all of council so that you're aware and up to date on the project. And with that, I'll get into the mayor's first action item this evening. Item 5A is a request for approval for memorandum of understanding with the Senior Alliance. And with council's concurrence, the motion that we're requesting is to concur with the administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the memorandum of understanding between the Senior Alliance, Area of Aging 1C, to provide free health care benefit counseling to older adults and individuals with disabilities.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Wadsworth.
I'm going to move that we approve the memorandum of understanding for the Senior Alliance of the TSA regarding Medicare.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, for a memorandum of understanding with the Senior Alliance's TSA regarding Medicare counseling. Any discussion? If none, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the next request is kind of our annual request, and this is for an agreement and license for the Romulus Athletic Club, also known as the Romulus Flyers. And with your approval, this would be to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into an agreement with the Romulus Athletic Club to use Elmer Johnson's Park for the purpose of football practice, games, and end-of-season cleanup from October 3rd, 2023 through November 10th, 2023.
Mr. Chair, I'll make that motion for the agreement and license for Romulus Athletic Club, known as the Romulus Flyers, to use Elmer Johnson's Park from October 3rd through November 10th of this year.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, for agreement and license for the Romulus Athletic Club for the Romulus Flyers. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item is a request for the Wayne County Park Improvement Grant for the Jimmy Raspberry Park. With your concurrence, this would be to authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the grant agreement between Wayne County and the city of Romulus for improvements to Jimmy Raspberry Park, located at 36289 Cypress, with the allocation of the city in the amount of $29,521 to be used to remove aged play equipment and replace with new, safer equipment.
Through the chair,
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with administration and authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached grant agreement between the county of Wayne and the city of Romulus for improvements to the Jimmy Raspberry Park at 36289 Cypress, with an allocation to the city of Romulus in the amount of $29,521 to be used to remove aged playground equipment and replace with new, safer equipment.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Talley, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for the Wayne County Parks Improvement Grant Award for the Jimmy Raspberry Park. Any discussion? Hearing none. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. Item 5D is a request to piggyback on the NCPA Compact 0150 for licensing for fees for Abdo Pro. And with your concurrence, that would be for the purchase of the 23-24 licenses for Abdo, or Adobe, oh my goodness, Abdo, Adobe. You're into licensing now. Adobe Pro from Zones, Inc. at a total cost of $15,677.
Mr. Chair, I'll make
Yes.
that motion to concur with the administration and consent to piggyback on the NCPA contract 0150 for the purchase of the 23-24 licenses for Adobe Pro from Zones Incorporated at the total cost of $15,677.
Support.
Been motion by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, for the piggyback on NCPA contract 01-50 for annual license free for the Adobe Pro. In discussion.
Yes.
Yes. Mr. Wadsworth?
This deals with our software, right?
That's correct, yes.
Okay, fine, thank you.
Yeah, I have a question.
Ms. Talley?
Yeah, just a couple of quick questions. So the Adobe Pro, is this going to be for all, I know it wasn't, I didn't see like councils on there. What does this Adobe Pro do?
So Adobe Pro is for certified signatures, so a lot of the documents that we sign and prepare for internally and externally, we have to have certified signatures on. It also gives us the ability to edit PDFs and different types of document, use the tools within it. And this would be for citywide use for the employees that currently have it.
Have it, okay.
Yep.
Okay, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you. If there's no other discussion, Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes,
Yes.
motion approved. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Sorry, Mr. Wadsworth. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. Item 5E is a request to piggyback on the City of Livonia DPW-led service line investigation program. And with your consent, that would be to consent to piggyback on the Underground Infrastructure Services with Underground Infrastructure Services, Inc. for a lead service line investigation program at a cost of $253,681 with a 10% contingency for any unforeseen restoration requirements.
Through the chair,
Ms. Talley?
I'd like to make that motion to concur with the administration and consent to piggyback on the Livonia RFB 0-05092023 DPW and enter into the contract with Underground Infrastructure Services, Inc. for a lead service line investigation program at a cost of $253,681 with a 10%, $25,368.10 contingency is being requested for unforeseen restoration requirements.
Support.
A motion by Ms. Talley, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to piggyback on the City of Livonia DPW-led service line investigation program. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next item before you, item 5F, is a request for the purchase of a 2023 Ford Bronco Sport, and that's also a replacement vehicle for the building department. It is noted in the memo to you that that'll be replacing the most worn-out vehicle currently being used by that department. And in Director Scapitici's memo, you'll see that that vehicle has 144,000 miles on it it's replacing. And so with your consent, that would be to authorize for the purchase of one 2023 Ford Bronco Sport in the amount of $32,805 with Feldman Automotive Group. And again, that's to replace the most worn-out vehicle currently being used by the building department.
Mr. Chairman,
Mr. Wadsworth?
I will move that we approve the a purchase of a 2023 Ford Bronco in the amount of $32,805.
Support.
This motion by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for piggyback on the My Deal contract for the purchase of a 2023 Ford Bronco Sports Building Department. Discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would just like to know, so this is for the building department. Is it a specific person that will be this build?
So typically, the vehicles are assigned.
Okay.
So I don't know who drives that vehicle that's got 144,000 miles on it, but it's probably going to that individual. So.
Okay, thank you.
If there's no other discussion, roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. And then other than just to remind everyone to please RSVP if you're going to attend our next one, Romulus meeting with breakfast with the mayor and some of your local officials. Just make sure you do that and give the mayor's office a call, and thank you very much.
What's that date again?
It's October 7th at the VFW Hall.
Okay, Saturday.
Saturday, yes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Whitoko. Number 6 is the clerk's report. There's only one action item under the clerk's report, and that's an amended resolution authorizing a proposed ballot language amending Chapter 6, Section 6.4 of the Romulus City Charter, and that's regarding the number of regular meetings of council. So at the September 5th, 2023 regular meeting, council unanimously approved a resolution authorizing a proposed ballot language amending Chapter 6, Section 6.4 of the Romulus City Charter regarding the number of regular meetings of council. The Home Rule City Act is the governing statute that dictates the process in which cities can amend their charter. The original resolution that was adopted on September 5th, 2023 had language that the amendments of Chapter 6, Section 6.4 of the Romulus City Charter be placed on the date of the presidential primary. Unfortunately, the Home Rule City Act do not allow charter amendments on primary elections. However, a local government can hold a special election in conjunction with the primary election for the purpose of voters considering a charter amendment. It is therefore requested that council adopt an amended resolution calling for an election to be held by special election in conjunction with the date of the presidential primary on the 27th day of February 2024 or the 12th day of March 2024, whichever becomes the presidential primary, authorizing the proposed language to be placed on the ballot for voters' approval, amending Chapter 6, Section 6.4 of the Romulus City Charter regarding the number of meetings of council. Please note, the city will not expend any additional money for the special election that was not already appropriated for the 23-24 fiscal year budget for the presidential primary. Just to provide a little context, we're talking about schematics of what the Attorney General will approve because this Home Rule City Act does not allow charter amendments to be placed on a presidential primary. However, it gives leeway for us to hold a special election, and I'm putting that in quotation marks, so that we can actually still put it on a ballot so that the voters can consider it. This is why we're bringing it back before you, so we can submit the amended resolution that has the proper language that, in the city attorney's communication with the Attorney General's Office, State Operation Division, they have already approve in essence or in form the resolution.
Okay, thank you.
The motion would be in order.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Ms. Abdo?
I'll make that motion for the amended resolution authorizing the proposed ballot language amending Chapter 6, Chapter 6.4 of the Romulus City Council.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, for amended resolution authorizing the proposed ballot language amending Chapter 6, Chapter 6.4 of the Romulus City Charter. Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, City Council, and that concludes the clerk's report.
Thank you.
Number 7 is the treasurer's report, and the treasurer Page has indicated she has no items under her report. That brings us to number 8, public comment. This is the portion of the agenda for those in the audience who would like to address City Council. The rules to address City Council can be found on the back of the meeting agenda. If you would like to address City Council, please raise your hand, and after being acknowledged by the chairperson, approach the podium and state your name. Please note, members of the public who submitted a public comment card will be called upon first. You will have 3 minutes to speak. Any additional time will be upon the consent of the chairperson. Mr. Chair, we did receive a public comment card, and it was from Mr. Tony Heimberger.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yep.
Big Steve, hey, what's that?
Good evening, Tony Heimer, here on River Drive, Romulus, Michigan. $19,602.29. I have come here several times before concerning this Big Steve tally, and I don't understand why we are getting no resolution to this. We have taxes owed of $16,028.25. You have utilities, some of the bills going back to March of this year for $1,417.04. And then he's 3 months behind on rent. Any place that you rent, you would be evicted by now for this. So I would like to know from this council or someone, what exactly is it going to take to get this taken care of? And that I would like an answer to. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
I was going to say, Mayor, do we have an update on this?
I do know that staff has talked with the tenant, and I will have a report sent back to council.
Okay.
John?
Yes, Mr.
I have
Wadsworth.
a comment, and I'm sure the mayor has, something is going to have to be done here. Something. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the audience? Yes, sir.
Good evening, Council. Franklin Shaw, Wick Road, Romulus, Michigan. I just have a follow-up question on, it was a public comment asked on the 11th. Somebody commented asking the city's position on cannabis establishments. And I'm asking this because I was not here to hear what the city's views on this are. I mean, I was here a couple years ago when I addressed city council about it, and I know the answer that was given then. I would like to know where we're at with that now.
Yes, Chief of Staff, Attorney.
Some time ago, this council passed a resolution to not participate in any marijuana facilities in the city, and that stays in place until such time as the city would reconsider it. So at the moment, there's no grows allowed for retail sale of marijuana, either recreational or medical marijuana. Now, there can be, and occasionally there are, caregivers who are growing marijuana for a particular patient that they have a license for. A caregiver can get a license for up to 5 patients, and then they can grow marijuana for those patients' use only, so they can't go market it in general. And those we can't totally prohibit. We can control zoning-wise where they can be located in the city, but they aren't 100% prohibited. But any retail sales of marijuana or growing for retail purposes is part of the prohibition that you previously passed.
All right, so we're still at the point of city council. The city is against the marijuana facilities. I mean, I understand the people growing for medical people, and that's not my concern. My concern is a dope house on every corner, because I've driven a lot of places, and I see what they have going on with these marijuana facilities, and they got 3 or 4 armed guards running around, armed to the hilt. And if you have to be that well armed to protect a business, it evidently brings in a very bad clientele, which I really don't want to see in our city. So I'm glad to see that we're still at that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the audience? If there's no other comments from the audience, Deputy Clerk will close it out.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Number 9 is unfinished business.
John?
Yes, Mr. Wadsworth.
This is to the administration. I want to talk about Eureka Road. If you take Eureka Road from, it's from Blue Sky all the way to Middle Belt, it's good. It's perfect. It's smooth. There's no potholes. Then you cross Middle Belt, and from Middle Belt to Inkster, it's like a bomb field. As soon as you get to Inkster and go into the city of Taylor, it's smooth again. Did Wayne County forget there was a part of Eureka Road, or? And that's not our fault, but I mean, what happened?
If I may respond through the chair, actually, we agree with you 100%, and the mayor keeps reminding Wayne County, as does Roberto, of the condition of that road. What's interesting is a couple of years ago, if you remember, down closer to the airport entrances near Wayne Road, when Eureka Road was falling in, do you remember that? At that time, when we'd had some meetings, actually, that intersection between Middlebelt and Inkster was on their upcoming projects list. And I drive that road every day.
I know you do.
So I can tell you at that time, it wasn't great, but I was kind of baffled because you were going to lose your car if you went further down Eureka Road. So, you know, they will continue to send that message, and we encourage the residents to do so as well. You know, we're talking to Wayne County and trying to understand why that was missed.
Have they got an answer for you?
Not yet.
Or they just him and haw about it?
You know what, I was going home the other day and they were putting cold patch down again.
We don't want
So,
cold patch.
100%.
We want it
I
fixed.
100% agree.
I mean, if the
Yeah.
city of Taylor is no more important than we are.
Yeah, so I don't know how they got moved off the project list, but yes.
Okay, I made my point. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Ms. Abdo?
I would encourage residents as well as council members to contact or continue to contact our county commissioner. Because it is a county project, give him a call. Be hearing from enough of us.
Maybe we should send a resolution to our county commissioners.
Ms. Williams?
And Mr. Wadsworth, I understand, and I've drove that also, and it actually started in the left lane actually before you get to Middlebelt. So, yeah, and that's not good either, because not long ago, they spent a lot of money fixing it. So maybe they can look into it and see if it's still, you know, a warranty on that, because that's not good either.
Like I said, as soon as you hit Inkster, you can go all the way to Southland, and Eureka Road's fine, but for some reason, between Middlebelt and Inkster, they didn't want to fix it.
All right. Any other discussion?
All right, if there's no more unfinished business, number 10 is new business.
What, no, go ahead.
Which one you on?
Number 10, new business. If there's no more new business, number 11 is warrant. For approval is warrant number 23-18.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to
Yes.
make a motion, we pay warrant 23-18 in the following amounts. General Fund, $66,138.40. Major Street Fund, $12,933.95. Local Street Fund, $2,472.17. Public Safety Fund, $24,065.79. Cable TV, $782.95. Merriman Road Special Assessment, $15,092.17. Street Lighting Fund, $615. Oakwood SAD, $229.50. Garbage and Rubbish Collection Fund, $194,762.82. CDBG, $50,228.26. 9/11 Service Fund, $648.56. Law Enforcement for the Federal, $29,145. NARC Forfeiture State, $7,775.44. Library Fund, $4,651. DDA, $20,574.24. Tifa District 2, $53,425.62. Excuse me, 2014 capital improvement bonds, $12,700. Water and Sewer Fund, $628,393.65. Motor Vehicle, $11,700. Technology Services, $1,882.88. Retiree Insurance Benefits, $8,440.70. Revolving Fund, $8,025. Current Tax, $379,633.31. Delinquent Personal Property Fund, $3,357.64. Payroll Fund, $8,048.50. Totaling all funds, $1,545,672.06.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Talley, to pay warrant number 23-18 for $1,545,672.06. Any discussion? Hearing none. Roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, that motion is approved.
Thank you. City Council number 12 is communications.
John,
Mr. Wadsworth?
if I can, I want to talk about the Romulus schools. Tonight at 5:30, myself, Mrs. Williams, and Mrs. Talley, we attended the ribbon cutting for the STEAM program at the Wick Elementary. And it's a program that deals with the best of the best in our students. And they specialize in science, technology, arts, mathematics, and so forth. And it really made you, it really made you proud that you were involved with the school system. It really did. It was excellent for our school system. Thank you.
Mr. Martin?
Yes, Ms.
Yeah,
Talley?
Couple of things. First, I want to just congratulations to the Conference of Western Wayne, who celebrated 45-year anniversary. Just want to, event last year attended by myself and Mr. Barton. So just want to say congratulations to the Conference of Western Wayne for 45 years. Also want to put out there too, just as much as we can to support our UAW, the union, as much as possible. Just praying that this is not a long strike and that they will get what they need and what they deserve. So I hope we are out there supporting our UAW workers as much as possible. Another thing, our all-class reunion is this Saturday from 12 to 8 in the Historical Park. Please reach out to Danielle Carter if you want to participate with that as one of the classes of setting up a tent. That is, again, this Saturday from 12 to 8 in our Historical Park. The last thing I want to talk about is our Pumpkin Fest weekend. I said it was going to be big, and it was big. All weekend long, it popped off with the Rotary Parade of Lights. It was big. It was big, and the Rotary did a great job with the parade and everything. Our chair, Jasmine Dancy, Jerry Freyer, Sean Mullins did a great job chairing this event along with the committee, the Pumpkin Fest committee. Just a good team collaboration the whole time. The goal when we first went into this was consistency across all the weekend, and that goal was achieved the whole weekend. A lot of consistent things that went across all weekend, just working together as a team that whole weekend, and it showed as an end result of the Pumpkin Fest. So I just want to shout out a couple of people on Sunday, which is one of the days the day I'm over, is and I just again thank the partnership with the city, the Pumpkin Fest committee, Jasmine, Jerry, Sean, and then just all the volunteers. We have Carol Bells, who headed our hospitality tent the whole weekend. She had so many good volunteers. One of them, Linda Collier, thank you for your participation. Tammy Garrison from the school, Debbie Latner, Wendy Harmon, former school board members, Teresa Beard, Devin Safford, all these people just coming out to help us with our with the day. A lot of free stuff for the kids, face painting, bouncies, a rock wall. It was just a great event. On Sunday, we gave $7 vouchers to everybody who attended on Sunday to help offset food costs. We had an amazing bingo tent, pumpkin smash, pumpkin chunking. The DIA had a paintings and the pumpkin painting. Colleen McKay did an amazing 5K walk on Sunday morning. We had a worship in the park that morning. We had a Romulus Got Talent show. The mayor brought cornholes. We had a band that Ellen sung in on Sunday, and a lot of bands, I'm talking about mostly Sunday, but the Saturday had a bunch of activities going on as well. A lot of bands, just a lot of events and activity. It was an amazing Pumpkin Fest weekend. I just have to say that Jasmine Dancy, Jerry, Sean, they brought pumpkin-y back in our Pumpkin Fest. If you wasn't there, I'm sure there's pictures out there, but it was an amazing event. I just want to thank everybody their support in supporting this all weekend. I want to shout out to the city. It's just so many people, and I don't want to name too many names because I'll be missing folks, but also the nonprofit University Ambassador Bridges, who hosted the Sunday event. Just want to shout them out for all the work that they did on that day. And then I just would be remiss if I didn't give accolades to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who I give honor, and who we always said that Unity Day is his gig. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Williams?
I would just like to speak briefly on the UAW in case a lot of individuals that may not have a clear understanding of what's going on. Those folks are out there. I'm a 28-year retiree from the UAW. And when you have 4 contracts, so that's 12 years of contracts, 4 each. 3 contracts, I'm sorry, math off. And the employee's been giving back, just constantly giving, making sacrifices. So it's actually time, it's not being greedy, but it's actually time to be restored. And a lot of people don't understand that. And what you have to understand is whatever happened between these 3, it's gonna be a ripple effect. Because other companies will feel like, okay, if they didn't have to do it, we don't have to do it. And that's what happened down through the years. But what these workers are asking for, to be restored. They're not asking for anything new, but to be restored. You can't have, and especially the younger generation, you can't have people making cars that can't afford to buy them. It makes no sense. Not at all, not in America today. And then even if you can't afford to buy them, you can't afford to keep gas in them, the insurance. So the fight is real, and as Councilwoman Tina Talley said, let us keep our prayers up for those employees, because they're fighting for something that they actually deserve.
John?
Also,
Go ahead, Mr.
also,
Finish.
I want to bring to the mayor's attention, but he's not here, so the chief of staff, a resident sent me a picture over North Point, right off of Vining. It's a sidewalk and it's asphalt. I called the city planner, Carol Mays, and she thought maybe they approved it. And I couldn't see them, North Point, being approved for an asphalt sidewalk, but the company on the other side of Vining and Smith Road have concrete sidewalks. So if the city, the building director or whoever can look into that, because it doesn't look good at all to have the asphalt sidewalk. Also, Forgotten Harvest is back. We wasn't there last week for reasons of choice of Forgotten Harvest, but we will be back there tomorrow, starting at 10 until 12. And also, I know the mayor brought it up earlier in his in the video, but we are doing Trunk or Treat again, Citizens Changing Communities and the Romulus Civic League at the church lot, corner of Beverly Road and Chamberlain, on Halloween, Tuesday, October the 31st. The start time is 5:30 until 8:30. For more information, you can feel free to contact me at 734-673-8396. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Burton?
Yes, go ahead.
One thing, I'm so sorry, forgot. I need to shout out to Ms. Abdo, all the work you did on the talent show. Thank you, I'm so sorry. That's why I don't like naming names. I'm always gonna forget somebody. Thank you, Ms. Abdo and Sandy Tenney for her work. You guys have been with us the whole 3 years. Thank you so much for your support. We can't do it without the volunteers, so I just want to thank you guys for your support. And then CJ, he works for Pastor Zakeem, who's also a member of Unity Ambassador Building Bridges. I just want to make sure I didn't forget you. Thank you so much for your support.
Thank you. Mr. Wadsworth?
John, if I can, first of all, I can relate to Mrs. Talley missing names, because I did bowling and bingo for years, and you always miss one.
Right.
Getting back to the UAW, I'm a product of the UAW. My mother worked for General Motors for 35 years, and I know she's looking down, wishing she could be on the picket line tonight. But I hope that this comes to a quick settlement. I hope the UAW gets what they need, because like Mrs. Williams says, how can you build a product that you can't purchase? It's wrong. And I wish the UAW luck. Thank you.
Yeah, I also agree with UAW. The UAW gave opportunities for families to live a life that's attainable. Without the UAW, like it was mentioned, Williams and Ms. Talley and Wadsworth, this union is the one that built America. And so It's important to always support our union, because these people work hard and they deserve what they asked them for. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Just a comment, John.
Yes.
In regards to UAW, you know, that it's hard for them to be out on them picket lines because they need to be supporting their families and so on and so forth. But in the long run, you do what you have to do. And we're behind them 100%. If they don't stand together in unity, then, you know, there's strength in unity. And even though we're not sitting up here probably in a union right now, but on the other hand, it's what drives this nation still. And it's a trickle-down effect. So I hope they come to conclusion really quick for everyone involved, because eventually it affects everyone.
Yeah. Right.
But yes,
Right.
sure have them in our thoughts.
Right. Thank you.
If there's no more communications from council, that brings us to number 13, adjournment. The time is
So moved.
8:17.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Talley, for adjournment. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Talley?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned. Thank you.